What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, lifelong sports fan. In yesterday's video, I did not give the proper praise to my Georgia Bulldogs, number one in the nation, taking on and beating our big longtime rival Florida, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I've had the pleasure of going to that game 4 times in the past. We only won one of them, but that's all that mattered. It was the one that kind of turned it around and made it kind of more of a back and forth between both of the teams. But congratulations to the Bulldogs. And with that, let's move on to the NFL. So Week 8 is in the books. 10-5 last week after I would say a surprise loss by the Cincinnati Bengals to the Cleveland Browns, keeping that division interesting last night. Otherwise would have been 11-4. But overall didn't do too bad. I have to reevaluate the Broncos now and think about how I want to go picking them going forward, because I think they may have found a way to turn their season around here with a win in London against Jacksonville. Now, it still didn't look particularly great in the first half, but that second half they came alive and managed to get 3 touchdowns altogether. So, definitely one that I need to reevaluate going forward. You had the Falcons now in first place in the division. Trying to think if there's any others here. I managed to pick the Patriots over the Jets. A lot of people didn't have that going. I picked that mainly because I don't have a lot of faith in Zach Wilson and because they do not have Breece Hall anymore. I think Breece Hall was the linchpin to their success. Other games, I did pick the Cardinals to beat the Vikings. It was a close game overall. It ended up being a one-score game. Zadarius Smith had a phenomenal game, getting pressure on the quarterback a ton and being just a big presence on that defense. I had the Raiders over the Saints, as much of America did. I do think the Saints are in better hands under Andy Dalton than they are under Jameis Winston. So I look for him to be the guy going forward as long as he doesn't get hurt. Having a little bit of a resurgence to his career. I couldn't have told you. Washington Commies over Indianapolis Colts. It was a very close game, one point game. I just went with the Colts, and we ended up losing that one. And then, of course, we lost the Bengals at the Browns, as almost everybody in the rest of America did. So moving on to Week 9. We have a lot of teams on bye this week. So let's start out with the Thursday night football game. It's not going to be necessarily a barn burner, but you got the 7-0 Philadelphia Eagles, one of the top 3 teams in the league, taking on a team that is playing for its future quarterback in the Houston Texans. 5-1 they are right now. 98% of America is picking the Eagles. I'm going to pick the Eagles. It is in Texas. It's in Houston. I don't see a world where Houston wins this game. But that's also been the case where this could be a trap game for them. That just seems to be the way things go when we're talking about trap games. I don't think it's going to be a trap game. Their run game is just too great. Jalen Hurts is looking like a league MVP right now. He and A.J. Brown have a phenomenal connection. I think he threw for 4, and A.J. Brown caught 3 of them this past weekend. If you had them, they were part of the winning combo in FanDuel for the Millionaire Maker. So definitely a great team in the Eagles right now. They have done phenomenal, and I still think their ceiling is 17-0. Though it will be an incredibly tough road after this week. Then we move into Sunday. No London games this week. We do have a 1 o'clock games. Chargers at Falcons. Now, Falcons are number 1 in their division. Chargers are coming off of a bye where they will no longer have Mike Williams, who is out for the rest of the season. We do get Josh Harris, former Falcon, long snapper for the Chargers, 10-year vet in the NFL, coming back. Welcome back, Josh. In brotherhood, always, my friend. We are glad to have you back on the field in Atlanta, though I do hope your team loses this time. The Chargers do have Keenan Allen, and they still have Austin Eckler. They have a couple of other weapons. Palmer is also there, Joshua Palmer. So they're not going to be terrible. This could be a very close game. I don't look for it to be a complete blowout. We may have A.J. Terrell back. It's very iffy. I don't think the news is now that we're probably not going to have Casey Hayward back. We might get him back for the Thursday night football game the week after this with Carolina, but I don't know that we're going to have him back for this one. I am going to pick the Falcons. We are coming off of an emotional, luck-filled win, but we do run the ball incredibly well, and I think as long as we limit turnovers, which Mariota's got to look better through the year. I know he threw for like 250 yards, more yards than he's thrown the entire season, 3 touchdowns on his birthday, so good for him. But those interceptions were bad. They were bad, and they came at really inopportune moments. First drive of the game, and then the overtime drive that almost led to us losing. So we got to limit that. But I am going to pick the Falcons. I am an underdog in this pick. ESPN statistics suggest a 53% chance that we're going to win the game. America is only picking us 19% of the time. So I'm going to go with the Falcons here. Then we move on to the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are trading away a lot of their pieces. They've traded away defensive lineman this week, and they traded away former Georgia great Roquan Smith. He is now a Viking. They don't look bad on offense right now. The last 2 weeks they've come out to play. Even though they lost to the Dallas Cowboys, they still put up 29 points against a stout defense there. So starting to look like a better team. I don't think they're going to finish last. I do think that the Lions have kind of been relegated to that position at this point, even though they played incredibly well against the Dolphins in the first half last week. I just don't see a world where they end up in anywhere except for maybe last place. I don't think the Lions are going to end up making it beyond that. But Dolphins, they did come back. Tua is doing remarkable right now. He and Tyreek Hill have an amazing connection right now. And then you've also got Jalen Waddle, who's playing good football, just erased the one bad fumble that they had a couple weeks ago that cost them the game. 91% of America picks the Dolphins. It is in Chicago. I do think this is a trap game for the Dolphins, but I'm going to pick them anyway because I still think their talent overall is better, especially with the Bears being traders here at the deadline. They do have, all teams have until 4 p.m. today Eastern time to make trades. I'm going to be very interested to see if the Falcons are buyers of any particular categories, hopefully in the corner position. But we'll go from there. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals coming off of a bad loss yesterday to the Browns. It is at home for them. I think they're going to be angry. Panthers are coming off of an emotional loss. It would not surprise me to see the Panthers win. They have shown that they do have the ability to play competent football. Deonta Foreman is very Derrick Henry-esque in terms of how he runs and just how he looks on the field. I don't think it's going to be enough for him, though, especially in Cincinnati. Now, Jamar Chase is still going to be out, but you still have T. Higgins and you still have Tyler Boyd, both of which are amazing weapons. Hayden Hurst is also there, providing some extra support for Joe Burrow. They just can't let Joe Burrow get sacked a bajillion times, and they will probably win that game. Wouldn't surprise me if this is another trap game for Cincinnati, but I do pick Cincinnati over Carolina. Then we go to the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. Packers looked better. They ran the ball. They just couldn't get anything going in key moments this past week against the Buffalo Bills. Played them a lot harder than I think people gave them credit for, and had some chances late in the game to potentially come back and at least tie the game or potentially win it, but they just never capitalized on them. So Green Bay Packers, I think, righted the ship a little bit. The Lions, they cannot close out a game. They cannot play 4 straight quarters of football, and because of that, I am going to pick the Packers just because I think they are a little bit better overall as a team. I think their defense is significantly better. And I think Jared Goff just doesn't know how to play two full halves of football. So give me the Packers here. It is going to be a much closer game than people are expecting, but give me the Packers. Then we go to Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots. Patriots with Mac Jones and a solid run game look very good. They are no longer going to be relegated to last in their division by the end of the season. I do think the Jets, unfortunately, without Breece Hall, are going to find themselves in that position, even though the Jets have had a great start to the year. Indianapolis Colts, Sam Ehlinger, not terrible, not great. Y'all are going to be running the ball a ton. If you can't run the ball, you're not going to win, and New England has a very stout run defense. It's in New England. Give me New England in this game. They're going to go 5-4 after this one. Then you have the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Now, Jets coming off of a tough loss where they were never really in the game against the New England Patriots. James Robinson, I think, will be a much bigger piece of the offense this week. It's always hard when a player gets traded first week to make any sort of impact. The Bills are still, I think, the best team in football right now. I can't pick against the Bills going forward unless they have, maybe we're talking about the Eagles or something like that. I don't think the Bills have a game where they're going to be the underdog going forward. This could be a trap for them, but I don't think so. The Bills, I think, are going to come out on top of the New York Jets and remain on top of that division. So give me the Bills here. Then we go to the last two 1 o'clock games, the Vikings at the Commies. Vikings looked better. Their defense looked better. Their offense is still clicking. Dalvin Cook came out and had himself a hell of a game this past week against the Arizona Cardinals. Washington Commies, not so great. They did manage to get a win, but I still don't have a lot of faith in them. They are 4-4, which is better than I thought they would be. And I still think Minnesota is not the best team in the world. It is in Washington. I just feel like this is a trap. I feel like it's a complete and total trap for the Vikings. I know I've said that about a lot of games this week, but this middle of the season is where you always see teams kind of falter. Teams that have been, 6-1, 7-0, 5-2. This is where they start faltering against teams they have no business faltering against. So I am, for that reason, and because it's in Washington, and because Taylor Heineke has that offense looking at least halfway decent, I'm going to go with the Commies over the Vikings. I don't love the pick, but something in my gut tells me that the Commies could find a way to win this one and just make it an interesting NFC East. So give me the Commies here. I don't love it, but I'm going to go with it. Then we have the Raiders at the Jaguars. Raiders coming off of being shut out by a stout New Orleans Saints defense who finally woke up and remembered how to play football. Jacksonville Jaguars, once again, another close game where they couldn't close it out. They had it and they lost it. Jaguars, you're not a bad team. Like, that's the thing. You're not terrible. Almost every single one of your losses has been by one score. So you're on the right track, but Trevor Lawrence he just can't keep the ball in your hands. He threw so many picks. He turned the ball over so many times in London. The Raiders, I think they're going to, if they can find a way to consistently get Devontae Adams the ball, it was a travesty that he had one catch for 3 yards. That's dumb. That is the stupidest freaking thing I can imagine. Best player on your team, by far, you only get him the ball one time. That was stupid. They could have been in that game if they'd found ways to get Devontae Adams in it. I do think they bounce back this week and find ways to do that because the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have the best defense in the world. Give me the Raiders. I think are a slightly better team here. Josh Jacobs also could tear them up for a lot of yards this week. It will be close, and I don't have any confidence in this pick. This is like the 50-50 game of the week here. I'm going to say the Raiders. I don't feel great about it. Then we have the last 4 games, 3 of which are on Sunday, and then we have Monday Night Football. We have 2 afternoon games on Sunday. We have the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks, Geno Smith is still playing lights-out football for you. Your defense is playing much better than people anticipated. You just beat the New York Giants in Seattle, which I did call, and you beat them soundly. Give me the Seattle Seahawks over the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals do not look great right now. They look like the worst team in that division. They did put up a lot of points against the Minnesota Vikings, but they didn't find a way to close the game out. DeAndre Hopkins is clearly the favorite there, but they just have some dysfunction throughout that entire team. Even though it's in Arizona, give me the Seattle Seahawks. I am the underdog in that pick. Most people think Arizona is going to win. I think the Seahawks are going to get this. Then, we have a fairly tough pick here. We have the Rams 3-4 against the Bucks at the Bucks 3-5 for Sunday afternoon football. The Rams, you have Cooper Kupp. He's clearly the best player on your team. You don't have much else. Allen Robinson isn't very good. Tyler Higbee's fine. Tampa Bay, you're just reeling. You can't find a way to win games right now, and Tom Brady looks like Father Time has ravaged him. I'm going to go with the Rams. I don't love it, but I'm going to go with the Rams here. I think the Bucks are starting to reel. I think they are in danger mode here, and if they lose this week, I think it's all bets off on what happens to them going forward. But give me the Rams here. I think it's going to be close, but I do like the Rams. Then we have the Sunday night matchup. I think this looked like a much better game preseason than it does now. Tennessee Titans at Kansas City Chiefs. Not sure if Malik Willis will still be starting. Actually, let's see if he will be. He was the starter this past week. Tannehill, is he still hurt? Tannehill injury. We're not sure. They're still not sure if it's going to be Malik Willis or Ryan Tannehill. I don't know that it matters. I would love to see Malik Willis in this position against the Chiefs. I don't think the Titans have any chance in hell in Kansas City on Sunday night of beating the Chiefs. Chiefs are playing too good of football right now. They have so many weapons. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but the Titans will be an interesting team, especially if King Henry gets to running the ball. They're going to have to control the clock if they have any chance of winning that game, because Kansas City can just score so quickly. And then we come around, we have Monday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens at New Orleans Saints. I have said this before, I will say it again. New Orleans is an incredibly hostile environment. If you have never been there, the decibels rarely get below 115 the entire time from start to finish. It's insane. That fan base is rabid. They are die-hard. It is tough to win football games in New Orleans. The Ravens, though, have made some big trades with Roquan Smith coming onto the team. They are getting healthier. And I think overall they are a better team here. Baltimore Ravens, give me them, but it will not be as easy as people think. Only 11% of people have the Saints picked. I think that's a travesty. I think they should easily be closer to a 65-35 split, because I think that's about the chance I would give the Saints of winning, is about 35 to 40% chance. I don't think it's a clear coin toss, but I do think the Ravens are favored. But I think the Saints could give them hell, and it wouldn't surprise me on Tuesday if I found out that the Saints won this one. But anyway, that's what I think about the games this week. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. My total record right now is 77, 45, and 1. 99.6 percentile on ESPN. I've fallen off a little bit here, not done as well the last few weeks. A lot of people did well this past week, had about the same record. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Consider liking this video, subscribe, share it with other people if you just want to make fun of me or see how stupid I am compared to your friends. Would love to hear about it down in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, rise up.